Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with our monthly update here in regard to the 10 must-build teams in Marvel Strike Force right now. These are the teams right now that I'm going to be excluding, including characters like SKRULL, Apocalypse, the Horseman teams, Mephisto, because these are the essential teams that's going to unlock 80 to 90% of the content right now. So if you're watching this as a mid-game player, these are the teams that you should be focusing on. If you're watching this as a new player, I'm going to point out some teams that we're going to caution because obviously some are on the way out with new teams coming in. So we always need to be aware of the landscape of what's changing in the game. And that's really what I want to bring to you guys each month for this, because we know how fast the meta changes. Having said that, you'll see that with these teams anyways, once I get started here, there is going to be an emphasis in raids. There's going to be an emphasis in arena, because those two are the most important game modes. They give us the most maximal daily rewards in terms of what's going to benefit your account. But naturally, what's funny about this list is that these are all going to naturally make everything else in your game better. That includes Alliance War, that includes Cosmic Crucible, and as well as Dark Dimension. You'll see many of these characters already being utilized in Dark Dimension. So for those of you looking to unlock Super SKRULL, Mephisto going forward, these are the teams that you should be aware of. So that way you know what's in the meta, and as well as how it's going to best build that foundation for your account, and ultimately the progression through your growth with this well-rounded roster. So having said that, guys, the 10 teams here are right now. We're going to start things off here with raid teams, because they're going to be the obvious ones, and as well you need these every single day when you're doing either Spotlight or Orcus, but there is going to be an emphasis on the main raids, just because Orcus raids as well as Incursion are going to be the ones that generate the most rewards from a daily perspective, whereas Spotlight's more of a luxury if you have some certain teams unlocked. So first and foremost, I want to point out this Bifrost team right here at the very top. If you have this similar level right now, this team can get you through all of Incursion 2.3. I did it myself. I can solo all 3 nodes. Even better on icing here is if you have Valerie built up. I brought her into Dark Dimension. Amazing value. I'm still using her right now in the Mystic nodes for Orcus raids difficulty 2. We're ramping up to difficulty 3, so I'll keep you posted how that goes. The reason I would caution this team right now for Bifrost is because they have ultimately extended their value now. Now that Night Stalkers is slowly trickling in, that's where you want to be pivoting, right? So characters here like Agatha Harkness and as well as Moon Knight, they're part of the new team with Blade, Man-Thing, as well as Oath, aka Karen Page. So this is the one you want to be paying attention to, because this team is currently coming out, but we still need Bifrost right now. In the meantime, if you don't want to buy, if you don't want to spend, especially we don't know how long it's going to take for these characters to come into the game. Next, we have the best version here of the Extreme X-Men team with Old Man Logan slotted in. Without a doubt, this is a go-to team for War, Crucible. In raids, this is the better version with Cyclops out. He's definitely the character you want to be honing in on and not wasting your resources on Cyclops, unless you're ultimately planning to bring this full team into Dark Dimension, or if you just want to invest in a meta mutant team. But Old Man Logan is what put this team over the edge. As you can see, there's emphasis on Nightcrawler. He's the one character I did bring into Dark Dimension out of this team as well. And Forge and Sunspot are very, very important as well, in addition to Gambit. But Nightcrawler and Old Man Logan should be where the focus is at. Now we have this pseudo mixture here of the Orcus tech team. This is what I've been using to kind of truck through my current nodes right now in the tech node section of the Orcus raids. And that's Sentinel, Lady Deathstrike, and Scientist Supreme. This 3-piece can work. Characters like Kang and Kestrel, they're going to add a bit of value because they have a lot of offensive output. They have a lot of, I brought them both into Dark Dimension 7, hence why they're built up. But yeah, I think they're going to be in the meta for quite some time, even if they're not in raids, because of their kit and the way that they can be used. And remember, Marvel Strike Force loves sharing their love for these original Strike characters like Kestrel, so there's always going to be a future for them, but just make sure that you're aware that this is a Pegasus team that's on the way out, and that's why we're slotting her in as this pseudo hybrid for Orcus, because we're still getting a bit of value from the Dark Dimension side. Kestrel can still be a strong war option, but yeah, just know that her team is on the way out, but herself, she's always going to have value in the future. Then we have Spider Society, one of the best teams in the game without a doubt. If there's anything to take away from this video, focus this team right away. This is just such a cookie cutter team that can be used in all game modes. Even if you're trying to progress through arena right now, this is a great starter team, or the Extreme X-Men plus Old Man Logan. Solid options, guys. Now, having said that, as you can see on screen, only 3 of them are actually brought into Dark Dimension 7 for myself, but 4 of these characters were used for Dark Dimension 8 because of the ISO 8 purple. So Just caveat that sometimes the gear resource constraint might be an issue there, just because they're all bios skill characters, mixture of some sort. But remember, this is a very strong team in the game. They're one of the best in War right now. They're one of the best in Crucible. But more importantly, they just add value across the board. And I even use Penny Parker actually in the tech section for my Orcus, if you guys haven't checked out the video from yesterday. So yeah, just in case you guys are interested, she's just such a good character and great standalone. Many of these characters are great standalone actually. Then we have I wanted to show you guys the best version of Hive Mind, which is obviously including Super Skrull. But if you don't have Skrull, Hive Mind is the way to go here with Venom slotted in. They have value in the endgame content, such as Escape from Kiln, Source Satellite. So it's great that these guys can provide value outside of just their intended game mode being raids. But more importantly, they also are a very strong team in War and Crucible. So build them up. Great synergies. I brought in actually... I did try this with Dark Dimension 8, but it just wasn't as effective if you don't have these characters like Gear Tier 19 now. So that's why I want to caution you. This team right here, all Gear Tier 18, was able to get all of the difficulty 2 and the Omega Orcus rates done. So you don't need them at Gear Tier 19, but this is the one team I would be on the watch for, just because I don't think you need all of them at Gear Tier 19, and they do really well because of the way their kit works. Oops, duplicated Spire Society there. We got Superior 6. Sinister 6 is still one of the best teams in the game. This is a team you always want to focus in on. I brought many of these characters into Dark Dimension 8 as well. As you can see, Vulture, Kraven, Mysterio, as well as Lizard, all having that ISO 8 purple. Strong team. Great all-rounder. One of the best reworks in the game, hands down. So definitely focus on this team because they can be used in all game modes, especially War and Crucible. But the Dark Dimension setting, right? It's just going to make all your content even better and your progression even more solidified when you have a strong foundational team that you can slot in anywhere. Then we have some of the required teams that they're not as important as the ones I've talked about. But they're here for a reason, because you need them for certain unlocks in the game, right? So for example, Out of Time here and Cabal, very good characters but I would focus on the attention of the characters I brought into the Gear Tier 19 because of Dark Dimension 7. But more importantly, they're both required for Old Man Logan if you want to push him to higher yellow stars. So that's why they're on this list. So if you're going to build them up, this is why I have it here, so you can see who I focused on. Black Knight, Captain America, Carter, those are the three you want to focus for Out of Time. And then Cabal is only a 3-piece. So Cabal is so good. They completely dominated Dark Dimension 7 for myself. I did the global nodes with very respectable attempts. So huge recommendation, guys. And then last but not least, I'm going to round this off here with both the Illuminati and as well as Annihilators, because unfortunately, you need the Illuminati right now for the next Legendary. That's the only reason they're on this list. And with the recent trend of what we've seen with Legendary characters, each and every one of them getting released now have been pretty OP and broken. So that's why Illuminati's on here. But I'm definitely focusing in on the newer characters, as you can see. Shuri, we got Mr. Fantastic, who shouldn't be on this list, but he's a better option than Black Bolt and Iron Man, and as well as Hank Pym. These three are going to be my focus for the Legendary event, similarly to how I focused on Black Knight and the Captains. And then lastly, guys, oh my goodness, this Annihilators team is just blew all my expectations out of the water. Now, the reason I include Surfer and Ultimus here is so that you can see where their power levels rank, but they don't even compare to Gore, Thanos Endgame, and Gladiator. These three characters are the essentials right now. If you have these three, plus minus two other characters in the game, they can get you up to top 50 arena ranking right now. You know, characters like Old Man Logan, some of the other ones I've listed here, Kestrel, Kang, and so forth. Until you unlock Apocalypse, Skrull, or Mephisto, these 3-piece, or even if you want to use the full Annihilators team, they can get you up higher in the arena rankings to generate those power cores, so that way you can better your account in terms of event preparation, as well as ultimately using power cores for instances like right now where Blade is currently being promoted, so you can use power cores for him. So there you guys have it. 10 of the best teams right now that I consider essential, guys, and they're going to unlock 80 to 90% of the content right now, especially if you're free to play like myself. Hopefully this is helpful. Let me know what you guys agree or disagree with. Always love to hear back. But this list does not change much each month, guys. Usually it's just plus minus 1 or 2 teams, and because of the meta, we always try to adapt for it. So do let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.